We are getting straight into our conversation this morning. Like I said, today's conversation is all about Etche. And in about 2 or 3 days, all things being equal, we'll have His Royal Majesty join us in the studio once again to proffer solutions. So what we're going to be doing this morning is to find out why this particular local government, a very large local government area in River State, is bedeviled with so many problems. What exactly is going on our focus on Etche? So why is the development so important of Etche local government? To help me and help us, in this discussion, I have Sir Ikechi Wogu joining me. He is a true son of Etche, and right now, very sadly, and maybe this is fallout of this very sad news, talking about the passing of Herbert Wigwe. It's now raising people's attention and voices to what exactly needs to be done. Now, sometime last year, we sent our man into that area after receiving numerous complaints, numerous calls about some areas, some roads, and some facilities. Now, Umuoga Road, which links Umechi, Egui communities in the Etche local government area, remained in a deplorable condition over 11 years. Please listen, 11 years. This was as at last year. All right. Now, this was the excerpt from his foray. This is what he found out. And so that we have a bit of a reminder, take a listen to this, please.
And that road, our people, commercial is farming, and most of our farms, both Egui and Umechi, located within that environment. It also affected the economic activities of Egui people. Therefore, it has caused a lot of setback to us. So perhaps if the government will put into coconut farm the activities of our people to put that road in order, it will enhance our economic development. Let the government.
So let's put it in a bigger context now. Some of the indigents, all right, who spoke last year, told our correspondent the government should come to their rescue. Now, it may interest you to know that the oil exploration in Umechi community began for it in 1958 and has over 250 producing oil wells that serve as host to the flow stations. 1958.
Umuoga Egui Road that have been in this condition, and government have not been doing anything about it. There is no vehicle that can apply this road. People living in that road doesn't go back to their house. When there is rainfall, you cannot pass through this way. And this is a community that have oil.
People who are living here have been suffering. They can't drive to their houses. They used to park their car and use leg and access their place. And we were looking for a way to see if government or share can come and put the road in order. But no way. We are calling on government to come and help us. Both NDDC and share, they should come and assist the community.
It's a road that links Igruta, Umechi, Umuoga Autonomous Community, and Egui.
Sir Ikechi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It is a staggering and frankly frightening and reality that we have before us. I have over 12 excerpts from last year's investigation into parts of Etche that maybe time will not allow us to go through. We have 5 minutes, or just about 4 minutes. You are a son of Etche. What exactly is wrong in this local government area?
Every shade of everything. It's a complex situation. I would tell people that if you look at the map of Etche, it shares semblances with the map of Nigeria. So Etche is like Nigeria in River State. And so like you have the complexities in Nigeria, you have the complexities in Etche. Even though we're more or less a homogeneous people, one language, common culture. I mean, when I say Etche people, I'm talking about the Etche nation, covering Etche LGA and Omuma LGA. Okay, and then you realize that there's a lot of abandonment, there's a lot of neglect. Okay, social neglect, leadership neglect, political neglect. So Etche once upon a time was designed to be the food basket of the nation, or of River State. And of course, we have landmass sufficient to cater to the entire region, Niger Delta. It's rich. And it's bounded by some bit of Ikwere land. Like you have the Ipo axis, Ipo-Omademe axis at one end. You have Igruta at this end and all that. So a lot of people think Etche and Ikwere are the same. And sometimes when the blessings get to Ikwere land, they assume it's Etche. All of you are one. We're not one. We're not the same. We might be brothers, okay, but we're not the same, and we can't switch places in any way. So because of that, what you do for Ikwere land, you assume, you have done for Etche. Etche. Oh, Etche has been covered now. Ikure was this, Ikure was that. So Etche has been covered, but it's not the same thing. You come to Etche, you pick food. That's where you have some of the best food. That's where you have some of the best sand quality. That's where you have some of the best land. I mean, land suitable for farming. Practically everything grows in Etche. Rice can grow in Etche, cocoa can grow in Etche, everything can grow in Etche. But irrespective of the capacity, now we're talking about oil. Etche land is blessed, okay, but is the blessing shown in the lives of the people? No, the blessing is not. And so all of this would result over time in some social inertia, right, which would degenerate further into the crime and criminality you're seeing, because everyone in Etche wants to find is kind of expression. Everyone wants to be heard. I mean, you hear that all the roads are cut off. I think, thank God for the recent development where the last administration decided to extend reach, okay, up to the boundary with Imo State, okay. We call it Amala, right? Up to that boundary, and then the entire stretch of road. The road capacity should be better and could be better, but because it's a chase, somehow, where there should be a dual carriage system, you have a single carriage system, because people don't talk. It's assumed they are docile.
But is it they don't talk? Because prior to this conversation, right, I think I'm telling you of even yesterday, that there's almost no week, particularly in the past 2 years, so since 2022, since we started doing this program, Hello Port Harcourt, there's almost no week that we don't get somebody calling from parts of Etche, making complaints either of the roads, either of the schools, schools in dilapidated forms. In fact, one of the stories even got to the national, to some of the national papers. The Punch newspaper carried 2 schools, primary and secondary school, that were in a serious state of disrepair, to the point that the children were sat on the floor with the roofs leaking.
Yeah. So, a rant is different from an organized conversation, organized communication, and so different from representation. So we seem to have those in the Senate, in the House of Reps. We have, the local representatives here.
Yes.
I would quote directly Professor Ndimele, who said something very profound. He said, when we send people, we send either the blind, people who don't have vision, or the lame, people who can't walk the walk, or we send dumb, who can't really speak, okay, or we send the deaf, people who don't hear, who don't know what is happening. So look at it socially. You discover that representation is a thing, is a strong component of community. Okay, when you have a channeled voice that is so influential and respected that he speaks and everyone listens. Do we have that in Etche? We have professors. Okay, we have advisors to government. We had commissioners, but what's the influence? What strength have they pulled down to their people? And a lot is wrong, because you would hear in the local parlance that Etche people don't help themselves, and so you have mindsets prevailing in Etche, like there can't be 2 Iroko trees in one forest. So when you have a big man,
but isn't that itself a fallacy? Because what makes a forest? It's big trees. So when that line comes through that, you have 2 big Iroko trees in the forest, that is actually a fallacy.
Practically everyone in Etche has had a personal experience to this. My dad had an only brother back in the day, and the reason why the young man was killed at 21 years was because he got a scholarship to go study abroad.
So it's a problem of perception. It's also a problem of internal ramblings or rumblings, whatever the case may be, that's led to the notion that certain things cannot work or will not work in Etche. But beyond the obvious, like the quotes alluded to Professor Ndimele, what about the very sheer nature of humanity? The fact that you have these installations, you have natural resource, and apparently you have government or a governor in the past 2 decades. Why haven't any of these previous governors, about past administration, taking a very close, cursory look into the Etche local government area? These questions will hope to shed some light when we come back after the break. Like I told you, we have talks ongoing to get His Royal Majesty to be with us in the studio to address some of these things, talking about proffering solutions. But for now, why And that's why Ikechi Wogu is here with us. We'll be back after the break. Stay tuned. And inside Rivers this morning, we on Hello Port Harcourt listening and also taking feedback from you in the past few weeks and months have asked and are asking once again what exactly is going on in a local government area. So if you are listening to us by chance, you are a son or you're a daughter, you probably know one or two politicians who represent you or who are willing to represent you or who have represented you in the past. This is a time to sit up and ask these questions. Why are we like this? What exactly has led us to this point? Let us make a diagnosis, if we can call it that. And then from then on, we can now talk about the healing process or indeed the remediation of whatever has happened. There are certain challenges. We've mentioned roads, for example. We've mentioned oil installations and how all those things don't seemingly reflect the improved quality of life in Etche. So why exactly is it slow? Well, my guess this morning is, well, it's a complexity of factors. Some of them maybe in terms of representation from a political standpoint. Others is also culture. Some of the, in quote, nuances that if you not be me, make you not be anybody else. But are those things really enough to put Etche, sadly, where it is? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your conversation. Before we open the phone lines, we have about 10 minutes to have a conversation. And Ikechi Wogu joins me this morning. We're all once again.
Thank you,
and thank you for taking out the time. So let's get directly to those questions I just asked. why then are these nuances getting to the point where the place doesn't look the way it ought to look? Nigeria for years, if you follow all those stories on the what do you call it, Nollywood movies, oh, if you want to go and progress, your village people will bring you down. But come on, Wogu, there are communities, where you have beautiful looking houses. There's electricity. Communities, not cities, communities. There are good roads. What exactly makes this particular large, and geographically it's a very large community, what makes it so slow in developing?
So there seems to be, this is my impression now, there seems to be collaboration between three forces. So the neglect is coming from 3 points. Number one, government neglect. So it seems as though government has collaborated with the people and then the social sector. Okay, thank God for some estates springing up here and there. It's because there's growing access. But is it coordinated? The private individual just gets into the land and buys land. So the interaction with the outside world is beginning to open Etche up. And you'll now have more Etche people embracing education. And so their mindsets are being cleaned up. Because in the past, 10 years, 20 years ago, you'll hear things like, the Etche man doesn't help his brother. So you have one Etche man in position. I mean, everything I'm saying, you can quote me because I've had personal experiences and I need to be convinced otherwise. Okay, a situation where you're probably taught by only one Etche man as lecturer. And then the man is ready to fail you because you didn't buy his handout. And then you go beg, okay, give me 2 weeks, I'll do it. He said, the only reason why you're talking to me like this is because you're an Etche man. So the reason why I don't want to help you is because you're an Etche man. And you'll be bitter, and they just have to go do whatever to come buy his handout, and then you get free. And you're making your A, you're making your B. The only lecturer. I mean, we should be a brotherhood. We should be a family. We should be a team. And so the Etche man scarcely helps himself. You have exceptional cases. I mean, I was so amazed. I was so blessed. It brought tears to my eyes when I heard the story from an outsider, from a certain man, Igbo man, who said the only reason why he got this job because a certain Etche man helped him out of the blues. So there are few of them. Not many Etche people want to help Etche people.
No, we're not name dropping as it were, but you made mention of a very prominent Etche son, talking about Professor Ndimile, who, if you are in River State, whether you're in the political class or not, but particularly in the educational sector, and I think after this conversation we're going to try and reach out to him to let's talk a little bit about the educational sector, in Etche. He's a very prominent figure. I know him personally. I grew up, he was a lecturer when I was a student, so I knew of him. I would attend some of his classes, and he stood out. And there have been several other people, like you said, there are a few of them. And now the entire River State is mourning the loss of Herbert Wigwe. But a lot of people don't know that, the Wigwe family have had sons and daughters in different aspects, in different facets of societal development, but it simply doesn't reflect in Etche.
Yeah, because like I said, compare Ikwe with Etche, Isiokpo, the ancestral home of the Ikwe people. There's a lot of access to education. Education is a powerful tool. It opens up the mind. Like I said, Etche men, Etche sons and daughters are beginning to embrace education. You're amazed, you go to the universities, you see a lot of them. And the trends are changing. The mindsets are being reviewed. Now, young men now begin to look inwards and they feel, I can help myself. Oh, there's no job. I can set up a plantain farm. I mean, there was a certain young girl who felt entitled. Oh, my father wouldn't help me. I don't have any relative to help me. And I said to her in a forum, I said, why don't you just do some cooking, fry some gari? Guess what? From year one, she began to sell that. I said, look, you have access to some elites in Etche who wouldn't come to Etche, who live in Port Harcourt, who wouldn't come to Etche to buy gari. Why don't you take gari to them? I mean, those in your contact list. And she did. Then the basin of gari was 5,000. Okay. And I said, if you can reach 10 every month, my family inclusive, that's 50,000. So what do you need a man for? And she did that, and she's still grateful. She still sends me text messages till today, because mindsets need to shift. You can help yourself where there's no one to help you. And these are realities that will be embraced. I've had interactions with people of other cultures, and I see how the Okrikas relate. I see how the Calabaris relate. I've interacted. So a lot of people, even in Port Harcourt, do not know Amici. Okay, because it's not a placard.
No, obviously.
Yeah. But when you compare mindsets, you now know where to place yourself, and you think that, wow, I can help myself. Okay, yeah. And more Etche people need to think that way. Not thinking that the senator has to help me, the rep has to help me, government has to help me. No.
Okay, now last year and 2022 in particular, right? 2022 in particular saw an upsurge in the one chance phenomenon has now spread to the FCT right now, and also a very heavy or high state or high rate rather of kidnapping. And a lot of the times when we'll have policemen come say, oh, they were rescued, sadly, a good number of them were in quote unquote Etche forests. And then several traditional rulers, spoke and said, no, these people are not from us. These people don't live with us. They are probably, encroachers. They're probably people who are wandering and yada yada yada. So the environment has made it so that criminality thrives. But you have people who have called this station who have said, because of this road, animals come here and waylay people. They rape our women. They steal our oil. I'm not talking of crude. I'm talking of palm oil. They steal our gari. They break into our cars. Somebody even called them and said they have to park cars, in the village before theirs. They take. How come the CDC chairman, the local government chairman, or I'm very sure traditional lawyers have been speaking, but these two, because we're talking about the political ramifications, I didn't know. Are they ignorant of what is going on in their own community?
They are not ignorant, but they feel helpless. So who does this? Okay, we've got lines of leadership. We've got the family unit. There's a headship there. We've got the community. There's an ochimba. Then we've got the local council, and then we've got government. So in a lot of cases, the local government council feels the state government should bear their burdens. If the state government wouldn't build our roads, wouldn't pay the salaries of our workers, wouldn't do anything, then all of that political drama.
But aren't they recipients of local government allocations? We're talking about a billion of naira.
I don't know about other LGs, but Etche hasn't been that lucky to have that sense of responsibility. A man who says with his full chest, if not me, who? If not now, when? We've not got that. We've not enjoyed that sense of assumed responsibility of a local government chairman from history who would say, look, I'm going to fix the security systems. This is my vision. I'm going to fix food. I'm going to fix that. No, we've not had that. Most of our local government chairmen have lived in Port Harcourt and only go to work towards when salaries are being paid. I should be quoted. And they should prove me wrong on that. It's not about any particular person. It's not about any particular party. Okay, let's have one local government chairman that says, look, I live in Etche. They come from Etche. They have presence in Etche. They have houses in Etche. But do they live in Etche? Now, they know all of these things. And the moment you're safe in your siren vehicle, you alienate yourself from the concerns of the people until the next time for allocation. Then they show up and the money is shared according to, who gets what and all of that. And that does not advance the people's cause. And so now, okay, who bears the sole responsibility or the chief responsibility of protecting lives and property?
In Etche.
Now, there's every sense of custodianship. Okay, every man should protect his children, his family. Every LGA chairman should protect his local government. Every state government should protect his jurisdiction. Every chief, okay, and elder should also protect their own small enclave. But who's doing that? Now the chiefs are helpless because they don't have empowerment to carry weapons. Yeah. And so you have some local vigilantes here and there who come in with information gathering, intelligence gathering, and all that. But when you gather the intelligence, all the information, there's a kidnap ring here.
What do they do?
What do they do? Nothing, no response. And so it gives wings to the migrants to fly. And that's why I tell you the truth, like that chief said, right? A lot of these kidnappings you hear about, okay, specifically in the Umuebulu axis of Etche, are not championed by Etche sons. Maybe you have one or two of them who are greedy, who join in, maybe with information and all that. Look at the time in Omoma, they suffered the disaster called OCC Kanku, right? OCC Kanku was from Ukwa West, but because it shares boundaries with Etche, you had little boys who are promised handsets of 3,000 naira who would come in. So you speak about OCC Kanku today, and your neighbor's son, who's your younger brother's son, literally, okay, sends the message to OCC Kanku, and then the next day his team is coming to your house and the man is dead. And all of these things kept happening. So it's not like the chieftains don't know. It's not like the government doesn't know. But when the government doesn't care about basic things like access to road, like security surveillance.
Okay. Now, all these things still point out once again to the power of the people, because if the people were not powerful, all right, they would not be seeking to control them, and maybe that's one of the flaws in humanity for as long as society structure has been existent, particularly in the past maybe 2 or 3 millennia. Wars and conflicts always seem to arise, but at some point in time, the people historically would say enough is enough. We've had enough. We need a change of approach. The Etche people calling recently seemingly of that notion, but who's going to speak for them?
We said it. Where's the voice? And then the second component is organized social system. So when I have an impression, and Jude probably shares in that impression from a distance, and then we say come out, and nobody shows up, what do? Everybody seems to be going about his day. Oh, I don't want to be called out. That's because there's an impression. Now there are there are several things you hear about the Etche people. They feel marginalized. They feel abandoned. So the average Etche man tells you government doesn't like us, doesn't care about us, right? Then they feel you hear that Etche people are docile. They are very tolerant people. Etche people are nice. They are some of the kindest people you'll find in Port Harcourt. I mean, the generality of them. Okay. Very humble, very patient people, very kind people. But whether they are forgiving is another thing. Okay? Whether they have forgotten all their hurts is another thing, because they've lost a lot of their heritage. I mean, look at the case of even Umechim, the war that broke out in the late 80s, where their king was kidnapped and killed. Okay, in the person of Odu. Right? So what has been done to address that? And so one day they wake up and they say, you know what? We don't want any oil mining in Etche anymore. We don't want anything. And then you call them out. You say they are bad people. So, nobody is addressing their pain when they feel the pain, until they tend to endure it and outgrow it. And then they begin to. So you have their sons and daughters who are watching all of this. They watch their father killed. They watch their mother killed. There's injustice meted out to the community. That little child will grow up.
But most of those things that you made mention of were also facilitated, sadly, by those whom they felt should be representing them. Yeah,
because the approach to the the international OICs was such that rather than come develop the community, they identify a strong man, and then they bless him, they pay him a lot of money, and then he tries to become the big man, and he doesn't expose the rot, the decay within. Okay, so it wasn't a proper approach, okay, to community governance.
Okay, all right. Like my guest has said, it's a very complex issue, and we will not have an hour to discuss this. We have lined up a few guests who will be talking to us most likely throughout the entirety of this week as we try to shed light on Etche. It's time for us to open the phone lines. Please remember, there are rules to having conversations here on 92.3 Nigeria Info. First and foremost, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it or hear it, please not unsubstantiated and unverified claims. And very importantly, please keep your comments civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, so 08179230002, 08179230007, 08179230002, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. WhatsApp is 08030306416. Robin is speaking to us from Etche. Robin, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt.
Good morning, my brother Jude.
Good morning.
And greetings to our guest in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, my brother.
Yes, I'm an affair son that live in Etche. All what he said there, I have it almost similar of what goes on in Etche land. You see, Jude, it's not easy to speak out. When you are hungry, how can Etche, as I speak to you, the volume of oil that I'm making from this land? Look at the Etche, Umebule. Over 50 oil wells, the people are living in penury. What is the purpose of 13% as is dictated by law? Is to help grow and salvage people where this oil and gas is being extracted for. Is successive government doing that? The answer is no. Somebody will tell me that people live in Port Harcourt, therefore all the bridges should be done in Port Harcourt. Out of 20 local government areas, and I have been very vocal about it, that is the wrong thing to do. You take the money from the people and develop under people, and you publish it every day. We are trying for road and water and light. The same thing in Thailand, and this is wrong. The current leaders and those who are to come, they should change their thinking. Leadership is not about themselves and their families.
All right, thank you very much. We have Ibiso and Zion who's standing by. Ibiso, good morning to you, please.
Yes, good morning, Jude. Good morning to your guests in the studio.
Good morning.
You know, Etche is passing through different challenges. And Etche have common border with Imo State, Abia State. You can pass Etche to Ikwere through Apane, through Ipo, different areas. But now, the people that are producing oil are passing through this thing. And do you know that the companies, they derive joy from seeing these people suffering, because they will make one of the, according to one of the strong men in the community, and they will give him money. If now this guest in your studio want to protest, the next day you see what will happen to him or his family.
But Ibiso, do you really blame the companies? Because the companies pay taxes officially to both the local state and even the federal government.
Jude, if the company say that want to do social thing in a shade to help the people, they will do it. They will do it. The thing there is, they like passing through the back door, seeing the people being in conflict, disagreement. The company, most of the company derive joy from host community being not united. Go to the Calabar area, go to different, in Nagata in particular. You say in different communities, one boy will come and the Oshebaba, and they will be loyal to that boy. They will not be uniting.
Okay.
They want to do this work.
Okay, let's get here from Zion and then Judith Nomuma, who's also standing by. Zion, good morning to you, please.
There is evil in the land.
Oh dear.
And nobody want to take responsibility. Let's leave all the shenanigans. A land well blessed with land agriculture, everything is also. Recently, Igbo was selling, Abara was selling, everyone was selling, yet no development. You know, people bought land, they are run away. Until the elders of Etche come together and take responsibility. Do you know how many people they have killed there in Etche? People are missing. If people slaughter them, expect development to go there. If you like, let federal governments who want to build heaven there or want to take them a Aso Rock to Etche, one thing will happen, they will return the project. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Until the people of Etche go down on their knees and beg the blood of the innocent people and beg everybody involved, we are sorry, forgive us. The ones that have died, we are sorry. The living, your people that have killed Etche, we are sorry. Please forgive us. There must be an atonement. Look at Alo. Something happened in Alo some years ago, and the elders of Alo came together and said, look, we must ask God for mercy. They brought a man of God there and conducted the crusade. Today, go to Alo. Is Alo not an heaven? Is development not going in Alo? Are people not buying land in Alo? Alo is the last period we went to Alo to do one or two projects. I said, this is how Etche should be looking like. Let's tell ourselves the truth and forget. But the people they gave appointments and everything in that Etche, can't they develop Etche?
Okay.
Can't they develop Etche? Expect others to come and develop.
Oh, all right, Zion, let's hear from Jude. Jude is no Muma. Jude, thank you very much for your patience. Go on, please.
Yeah, I just want to diffuse this impression, erroneous impression, that Etche people are not united, that we're not peace-loving. That's very, very wrong.
Okay.
Etche people are very, very peace-loving people, so much united. We don't. It's a ethnic nationality where you don't have what people call witches, wizards. Some of us have traveled very widely in Nigeria and outside. You don't have witches and wizards. Etche people are peace loving. I don't know how to compare it here. But what we lack is we have never been allowed to produce those at the government level that would have helped the chair.
Jude, are you saying the local government chairman and the representatives both at the state and national assemblies were not powerful enough to attract, development or foresight?
That's what I'm coming to. The level and what the local government can do. Yes, we have two local governments, the chair, Amuma and the chair local government. There's much or little they can do. All I'm saying is, you come to Rivers State, a chair people never had a governor or even deputy governor. And this is the first time, as big as a chair is, to have somebody representing us as a senator. First time.
Okay. Okay. All right, Jude. Braid is standing by. We'll take a call from Braid, and then let's talk to our guests, and I'll read some messages. All right. Braid is speaking to us from Afikpo this morning. Braid, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. Happy Monday.
Wish you the same.
Yeah, good. I think Etche people are peace-loving people. There is nowhere in every 12 there must be Judas. For me, when you look at Jesus Christ and his disciples, would you ever say that there will be somebody to betray him? There shouldn't have been so. The Etche people are peaceful people. I have been to Etche severally. I have slept there. I have good things over there. The Etche people are peace-loving people. Though when it came to land matters, there are some people that are ready to betray the ethnic group. And whereby they are betraying the ethnic group, and when God is being shaped like that, there is bound to be a problem. For me, the Etche people, there are a lot of churches within that Etche. They should be able to come together and take that Etche to God in prayer. And God will answer the prayer. There will be union, there will be unity in that Etche, and that land will also be fruitful once again.
Okay, all right. Now, thank you very much, Braid. So, Ikechi, so it seems interestingly that the last three or so callers seem to insinuate that maybe it's a spiritual problem. Maybe atonement needs to be made. And then one caller, I think Jude, said it's likely that it's like this because they've not had a powerful figure. Somebody like a deputy governor, a governor. Does that area really need people to become deputy governors and governors before development can come?
Yeah, so one of the foremost senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was an Etche man, in the person of Nwuke, Senator Nwuke. And then, Nwuke brought a lot of development to his family and some bit of to his community. He was from Okomoko, right? Yeah, but then down the line, you would want to ask yourself, what has been the impact of Nwuke's leadership over the years? He was probably the first senator, okay, if my history serves me correct, of this area. I mean, as old as the Eastern region. Yeah, so that's Nwuke. We've also had the person of Angocha serve once as deputy governor. Okay, and then what's the impact on Etche today? So yes, Etche has been deprived. I mean, in the scheme of things, if for example we've had like 3 Ikwe governors in a row, okay, one of that should have been an Etche person. But when I said organized social systems, look at the Ogonis. The Ogonis have a collective voice, maybe not an individual voice, because they can come back. The Ogonis can organize themselves together and say, look, if any aspirant who doesn't choose an Ogoni son as a deputy governor, we're not going to support you. You've not heard that of Etche. You've not heard the Etche people say we're coming together to organize an economic summit to see what we can do for ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll go on a break. The break is going to last about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And when we come back, we'll get our final thoughts on the challenges of Etche. Stay tuned.
For more talk